Well, greetings to the smartest people in America. Let's take a look at dinosaurs and separate the facts from the fiction. See, a fact is a verifiable piece of information, whereas a conclusion is a judgment based upon the facts. We need to separate those two. So what are the facts of dinosaurs? The fact is we find their bones on every continent. We find their footprints on every continent. And a lot of these bones have turned into fossils. So what are the facts? They lived, they died, and they were buried in mud. Why do I say buried in mud? Because that's the only way a fossil forms. You know, that dead deer on the side of the road, that's not turning into a fossil. That's going to get scavenged, it's going to decompose. The only way a fossil forms is if it's buried rapidly. So what are the facts of dinosaurs? What can we verify? Their bones. They lived, they died, they got buried in mud. Not necessarily in that order. Okay, so how do we make a conclusion based upon these facts? Well, that's going to depend on what you believe about the past. There's a belief system about the past that says billions of years ago matter popped into existence. And then billions of years later, the first living cell appeared. And from that single living cell came all the plants and animals and people that have ever lived, including the dinosaurs. And the dinosaurs died off 65 million years ago, millions of years before people got here, about 1 million years ago. So that's one belief system. Another belief system is God created everything less than 10,000 years ago. And he made the dinosaurs on day 6 with the other land animals. And then 2 of every kind of dinosaur got on the ark. These were the young dinosaurs before they got really big. The young ones got on the ark. And then there was a worldwide flood that killed all the land animals and people that weren't on the ark. And they got buried in mud and turned into fossils. That's where we get our fossils. And then the dinosaurs got off the ark and people called them dragons. See, the word dinosaur wasn't coined until 1841. So those are the 2 perspectives of the past. So what does the evidence indicate? Well, Darwin himself, he said, if my theory be true, countless transitional fossils would be found. And guess what? We haven't found any, especially leading to the dinosaurs. No transitionals. But the biblical model would say everything's fully formed, fully functional right from the get-go. And that's what we find in the fossil record. Did dinosaurs live millions of years ago or thousands of years ago? Well, Mary Schweitzer, she found some blood cells in a dinosaur bone. And you can read about this in Discover Magazine, Schweitzer's Dangerous Discovery, April 26, 2006. And when she found the blood cells, she says, and I quote, I just got goosebumps because everyone knows these things don't last 65 million years. And then she showed them to her boss, Jack. And Jack says, and I quote, prove to me they're not red blood cells. See, he's not real excited about finding stuff that can't be millions of years and something that's supposed to be millions of years. Yeah, it's a problem. So then Bob Enyart calls him up and says, hey, Jack, I'll give you $20,000 if you carbon date that bone. And Jack says, well, we won't expect to find carbon-14 in here because the bone's too old. And Bob says, yeah, I know, but we won't expect to find blood cells in here either. Well, Jack did not do it, but other scientists did. And in 2012 at the Geophysics Symposium in Singapore, they had 8 specimens, and they got dates from 22,000 to 39,000 years old. But the people who ran the symposium, they wouldn't let them present their findings because they disagreed with their findings. And there's a trend for that. And then Mark Armitage, he found a bone cell, and it found bone cells in a triceratops horn. And he got it published in Acta Histochemica, a secular journal. And then the university in California, where he was running the lab, running a very prestigious machines, they fired him. And he sued them for wrongful termination, and he won. Yeah, and now what he's doing is he's finding dinosaur nerves in dinosaur bones. And he's getting his work published in Microscopy Today, right on the cover. This is March of 2021, where his work's being on the cover, and yet he can't work at the college. And so, yeah, there's a censorship going on. And Jerry Bergman, he has 3 volumes of people that have gotten censored. They're trying, one side really doesn't want the other side to hit the light of day. And that Microscopy Today, I had that on a poster at St. Cloud State promoting the Hydroplate Conference, and somebody stole the poster twice. So there's people that really don't want this belief system to get any credibility. Okay, and so did dinosaurs live with man, or did they die out millions of years before man? Well, how in the world could people, and this bothered Carl Sagan, because there's legends all over the world of dragons. And he says, well, how can that be? These people are separated by time and distance. How can that be? And so he wrote this book, Dragons of Eden, where he said our memories are passed on in our DNA, and that's been debunked. Plus, if you want to see how people carved dinosaurs, anatomically correct, in castles and a temple and canyons and Ica stones. You can see my dinosaur talks on my YouTube channel called Solidify Your Faith. And if you want to see a really cool theory that makes accurate predictions, it's the hydroplate theory. Go into hydroplate.org or go into YouTube or Rumble. We've got hydroplate channels, videos there too. And you're going to see PhDs promoting this talk. And you're also going to see accurate predictions. So again, separate the facts from the fiction. You need to see both sides if you want to think about it, but one side clearly doesn't want you to get all the information. And so with that, I just ask that God bless your efforts and let the truth prevail.